Turn on the torch, light up the flame. Time to melt some glass, my friends. There you are. Here I am to explain, to teach, and create again. Well, today, it's been a while since I've been on this little torch. It's my budget torch, the one I bought for $90 on eBay, and modified it a little bit and put the torch cutter tip right on the end of the nozzle there, and it's working really good for me as a glass blowing torch tip. But today I have sort of a challenge, and I want to, whoops, just got to roll back a little bit more and get to something here. This is the challenge. Let me see if I can find something to put it in. Of course, there's always going to be no empty box around to do what I want to do with it, right? Not even close. Let's see. Can I empty stuff out of this one to get to what I want to do? Nope, nope, and more nope. Oh, yeah, right. I guess I got to do it the hard way. By what I mean the hard way is just do it. And then I'll scrape it off the table later. I was going to do it into a tub. Oh, here we go. This will work. Maybe, maybe not. Have some marbles that I can knock out of this one, and this can work for me. Okay. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. If I can get it done right. First of all, see if I can scrape it or scratch it. No, of course not. Maybe this will work. Okay. We're going to do it the harder way. I know it's probably not going to work, and the last time I tried to do it, it didn't even break. Oh, it broke pretty good. Okay. Now, challenge that I'm going to do here. I have all these rods around. All I'm going to use, this is soft glass again. And the reason I tried to keep it so less green contamination with the green that I do have, I'll put that to the side for now. Put it right there. That'll do. Only need a couple of good chunks anyway. Right. And people say you got to start somewhere, right? Yeah, I have a lot of glass rods all the way around the table, but I am not going to use any of that. I am going to use just what I have available as far as tools are concerned, which are like wire cutters, pliers, tweezers, and no rods and no tubing. But I'm going to try to make some tubing today so that we can make a little something out of it. And I thought, what better torch to use than this little tiny one. And I'm breaking these up intentionally, of course. Don't need big pieces when you're working with soft glass to begin with. Now what I'm going to do, and if you're seeing this, hey, it worked. If you're not seeing this, hey, it didn't work and you did not seeing this. Okay. First of all, I'm going to try to take it down and lengthen it up a little bit, warm it in. And again, I'm not going to use any rods. I'm going to use just pliers, because again, hey, you got to start somewhere. And sometimes you don't have rods to start with. So you got to start with what you got, which is nothing. So we're going to see if this will melt down. Oops, still a little stressful. It's still stressful, but that's okay. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take pliers and put them back together, because it's already warm enough. It's stressed and cracked, but it's still warm enough. And that's what I started with. I started with some pliers, a blowtorch, and some sunglasses, but you really do need to try to get some didymium glasses in the long run. I'm going to use tweezers too, because Yeah, everybody can get a hold of a pair of tweezers. And I started pulling, twisting. When I first started, literally, this is the type of glass I started with. Soda bottles and a propane blowtorch that I got off the shelf at the local 5 and 10 or the 5 and dime store, or a local department store anyway. Okay. And that's what I started with. I'm going to melt that down into a nice little blob. And then I'm going to stretch it into a rod that I can use to work the rest of this stuff. And I'm probably going to do about two or three of those to play with in the long run. And again, I'm not going to use anything but itself to work to itself. Okay. Stretching it out into a rod. This might stress out and crack later, but that's the whole point of playing and trying, is getting it to work into something. I'm going to let that settle down, and I'm going to see, now I got one little rod to work with. I'm going to do another one. Got to really warm it in. This stuff can really explode on you. And the stuff that's smoking off of there was the grape juice that I had inside the bottle. So it's just the sugar residues. It's nothing like the glass will actually smoke and burn. I didn't clean it. I just grabbed it and used it. That's all there is to it, folks. Just used it. Okay. Getting very pliable. I even used stained glass and panels of window panes and stuff like that to just play with. I didn't know what I was doing. Had to start somewhere. And I just played and played and played until I got better at it. And got better torches and better tools and equipment to play with. Here we go. We're going to stretch that out into another short rod to play with. And then I can start using these. I'll let that try to cool on me. I'll start using these as puntes to make longer ones. If you understand the principle, you do shorter ones to make longer ones. Oops, I forgot. You got to warm it in. Little bit by little bit. Because that stuff can literally explode in your face when it stresses out and cracks if you don't warm it in first. Yeah, I make it look easy. I've done it a few years. Been at it since November of '82. Matter of fact, sitting on a porch on the back of a mobile home behind the Morehead City Plaza is where I worked. I lived at the time, and that's what I started with. I made trees and little odds and ends of things. I twisted things and rounded them into each other. I think, let's see if that's warm still. No, actually, I'm going to warm that back in. It might explode. Yep, well, it cracked off, and it's going to still probably stress a little bit. But you got to start somewhere. Now I have something to hold on to it with that I can put right into the flame without really burning my tools. Right? Right. With me so far, huh? I hope so. That other one's still probably a little warm, but I'm going to use it anyway. There it goes. It's stressing out. I'm not warming it in fast enough. Or slow enough. There it goes. Now I've got 2 punties. And now I'll make another longer one even still. Another thing I did to make the rods a little bit uniformal, as you can see it's sort of a square blob, and you can do one of 2 things where you round it in and then you stretch it, and then you got a nice round punty, round rod to work with. And there you go. See there? Work it, press, pull, easy. You're just making it work for you. And you make longer ones, see? Here I'm going to go ahead and... Another thing you can do is sort of warm just an edge like that. Touch it too like that. There is a chance of it stressing and cracking off of there. But that way you can wave it in. And I'll hold on to the rod on this end. Do the exact same thing and make another long little rod. And from these little rods, I made animals. So if you don't have the money to make a lot, or money to get sent to you, or money to order out glass, there's always glass around you somewhere that you can play with. Just to play with it. That's the way I was. And that's the way I still am. I'm still learning, still growing. And sometimes it's good to go back to your roots, where you started from. Melting the same type of glass you did the day you started. And go back and do something like that. And from there you can make a whole bunch of stuff. Now from this stuff, I'm going to let that cool into a rod. And I'll do a couple more of them. Very similar to that. And I'm going to nip it off probably right about there. Oh, come on. It nipped off. Okay. Now, let's try it again. Oops, no, I thought it was hot, but just paranoia. That's okay. Here we go. Warm it. Oops, see all that? Explosion happened. The stress happens. And if you can't use a bigger chunk like I'm doing, the smaller ones will work too. The smaller it is, the quicker you can get it melting. I'm just playing because I know how to play. Oh, see, there it goes. Not hot. It was still hot and stressed out. I mean, not hot enough and stressed out, so it cracked it a spot. So that happens. Got to warm it all in, ease it in, and when you think you've warmed it in long enough, do it just a little bit longer. And from there, oh look at there, stressing, not warming that end up. There we go. Here we go. I'm going to sort of now we're going to try to make a tube here. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. By making a tube, it's hollow on the inside a little bit. Okay. There we go. Now for making a tube, you can blow into the tubes and look at that. That's pretty cool just as is. Need some more chunk. What do I do with them? Oh, there they are. You got to keep that warm and get some more into it. There we go. That's going to be good enough. And that's a rod that I worked in just a little while ago. And it's cool enough for me to pick up. That's pretty cool. Cool as in exciting. That's the one thing that most glass blowers you know, the most ironic thing you can say around a glass blower. Cool! I get a kick out of that every time I hear it. The other one I get a kick out of is, have you ever burned yourself? Duh. Have you ever burned yourself? It's having fun with me, but I'm letting it survive. Yeah, it was a little bit thick, and I did stress it out a little bit. But you got to start somewhere to make tubing, and then from the tubing you can make a lot of things. You can blow little vases. You can add other things to other things. But another advantage you get when you're working the same glass, in other words, you take a bottle like this and break it up and start melting it down. There we go. I'm sort of unifying the thickness of the wall here all the way around. Is that you know that there will be no coefficient problem where it will adhere to the same glass. You could do a nice weld and do it all right and good, but if you do it boro to soft glass, it's going to break right at that point. And the same thing with even soft glass to other soft glass. If it doesn't have the same coefficient of expansion and contraction, it's a wasted effort. There we go. We got a little bit of tubing going on. A whole lot of tubing going on. Not quite yet. I'm going to make some more and add it just like I'm doing. Keep it warm is going to be the fun part, but it's going to work. Come on. Of course. There we go. A little bit more to add. Touch it there. And I think that's going to probably be enough for the tubing to do the job that I want to do. You just make a vase or a bottle or something. A little tiny one, but still. Now you could coil pot this just like you would just like I made these long thin rods. You can coil pot it from these little thin rods to make the tubing too. And that would work out well as well. I'll show you that method in the next video. Because of course, this cannot be done all in one setting. What I'm starting with and making work doesn't always happen overnight. There we go. Now another thing I am going to cheat with is the blow hose. The reason I'm going to cheat with the blow hose is that I can sort of blow it. It's still a tool. It's not the actual glass itself. I am actually making the tubing right here that I'm going to use on that blow hose. Because what I'm doing now is making glass tubing. And this is stressed out big time too. People are going to be shaking their heads and saying, how in the world is he getting away with this? But again, I've done it a few times. And I've played with it a few times. And I love what I do a few times. And again, there you go. I'm not going to do any more to that one, and I'm going to make another one or two. Actually, this one I will. Oh, we're looking at 20 minutes already. Wow. Just from playing with a little bit of tubing and rod. That's going to sit there to the side for a little bit. Stay. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another longer and do a quick coil pot. Yeah, make this about a half-hour show. Yeah, stress out, stress out, stress out. Let's warm it in. Very important to warm it in. If you don't warm it in, you saw what happens. It chinks and cracks and shakes, just like that. And again, don't get frustrated. Just realize glass is going to do what it's supposed to do, which is melt at a certain temperature and stress out at other temperatures. And until you get it nice and warm, it's going to crack and stress. And there we go. I'm just going to let that melt and blob into itself. You can see. It's just going to, and then I can twist it a little bit after a while. Oh, it's getting really thin, meaning it's not as pliable as I'm used to it. It's thinner than, I mean, the viscosity is even thinner than what I'm used to. Here we go. Make that into a rod. Oh, look at that. That's just as sweet as you please. Gravity is working like a son of a gun. I mean, not gravity, but it just flows. You get the right temperature, you do it the right thing, and it'll flow. Look at that. Let's do one more of those. Oh, more glass. Oh, darn. I gotta get some more glass. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Duh. In the wrong direction at the right time, huh? Okay. Two more. That one and that one. There we go. That'll do her. Ease it in. That's the main thing. You throw it in the flame and it's going to go crack, pop, bang, boom, bash, crash, thud. And it's no fun picking hot glass out of your face, your chest. So be careful. Above all, be careful. Safety is important. At least wear sunglasses if you don't have any didymium glasses. You want something in case a shard of glass, as you see it exploding, goes pew, that it's not going to pew and stick in your eye, because it's not going to feel nice at all if you let it do that. Yeah, look at that. That's, let it flow. Bring it together. You can make some interesting icicles. You get a clear one and you can make some icicles. You do it with green. It'll also look pretty cool on a Christmas tree. You just gotta play with it. And this is just making stuff, or making the actual, taking the raw material, well, the material that was just a glass bottle a little while ago, and making it into something that you can make things out of is the next step. So, tune in tomorrow for the same time, same channel. You can see me make stuff out of this. I'm going to do a couple of little animals. And then I'm going to do, maybe, like I said, a little bottle out of this green tubing that I made. Okay? So, until next time, enjoy your day. And carpe vitro. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, click like, click subscribe, click the little bell, and then every time I come up and have a new video, you'll see it. Yay! And so on and so forth. Thank you for watching. I'm glad you guys are out there. I'm getting up there. I'm over 3,000, and yes, I am going to have the giveaway. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to do it. I'm a procrastinator. I joined the club, but I keep putting it off. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Well, it turns out that tubing that I worked with in this video crumbled to nothing after I tried playing with it. So sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. My problem was I did not do something with it immediately. I tried to let it cool. And once you let it cool, stress happens, and it stayed as a tubing until I tried to reheat it. Anyway, safety first, guys. Don't forget, wear some type of protection, even a pair of sunglasses over your eyes or something, so that when you saw that glass and how it popped in many directions, That's what can happen. Please wear some type of something over the eyes so that nothing is going to go sharding into your eye, which is important. Um, Thanks for watching as always. Carpe Vitro. Click like, click subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, Carpe Vitro. Enjoy your day.